many years have you been working on your job?
I've been in the jewelry industry for 30 years. I started when I was very young, after high school.
How many more years do you plan on working on your job?
Well, I like what I do, so I think I'm going to stay in the jewelry business for probably another 15 years, I'd say, until I retire. Because I'm about 50 years old now, and I think that's a good time to retire. I've been doing it a long time. It's a really fun job.
How did you choose this job?
Well, you know, that's a funny story because I didn't really choose it. It just was by happenstance. I walked into a jewelry store because I needed a battery for a watch. And they had a sign up that said that they needed a manager trainee. So I thought that was interesting, and I used to work for Walt Disney World. I was working for Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida at the time. And I thought, you know, I like people and I get along well with people and I like to make people happy. So I thought that might be a good job for me. And it was actually, it made me more money than what I was doing also, so that was part of it. I wanted to have more money so I could do things and buy nice things. So I got into the business, and I felt like I was really good at it at the beginning, so I stayed with it for a long time.
Did you know you wanted to do this job when you were little?
No, I didn't. That's the one thing I think it's fantastic when you know what you want to do when you're young, and then you go ahead and you become that. If you want to be an archaeologist, let's say, and you know when you're young and then you become an archaeologist, I feel that's living your dream. But I just kind of fell into this job. But it's well suited to me. The thing I like so much about my job is that I help people, and we make people happy because when they get married, they buy rings to celebrate, to show the symbolism of their union, right? Because they're going to stay together like mommy and daddy, right? And so I get to participate in that kind of thing. It's a very happy time. And then when people have birthdays, I get to help them with their purchases so that they can get a nice gift on their birthday oftentimes. And then anniversaries, when people are married a long time, they celebrate, and a lot of times they'll buy, you know, a piece of jewelry or something that will remind them of the anniversary. So it's very nice because we get to see people when they're happy, and we get to fix problems too. Sometimes they come in, they don't know what they want, or they went somewhere else and they didn't like the service they got, and we can help them and solve some of their problems. So it's very rewarding.
How would you rate your job on a scale of 1 to 10 on basis of fun?
A basis of fun, 1 to 10. Gosh, we have a lot of fun. I'm going to say that it's right up high with about an 8 or a 9. Because, you know, there are a lot of jobs where you have to be outside, it's very cold, or it's very hard, or, you know, we have bosses sometimes that are very strict, and we have to pay a lot of, you know, attention to the rules, and we have a lot of fun with our job because people are coming in and they're in a good mood, and we help them celebrate the happy occasions in their life, so what's better than that, right? Plus, I'm inside, and it's a beautiful, you know, room that's air conditioned, and I get to wear a suit, and I work with some of the most fabulous gemstones from all over the world, Brazil and Sri Lanka and other countries where you get to see lots of exotic things. So I'd say it's pretty high up there, about an 8 or 9 at least.
How much education is needed for this kind of work you do?
Education. Well, you can actually have very little education. Just a high school education will get you into the jewelry industry. But people that want to be the best they possibly can will go to a college. I'm a graduate gemologist, and I went to a college called the Gemological Institute of America. There's a campus in Santa Monica, California, but there's also campuses all over the world. There's one in London, and there's one in Thailand, and they have them. There's many universities, and you can go there, and they teach you how to be a gemologist, and that way you can be the best you possibly can and make the most money in this business. I think any job that you go for, continuing at your education is very, very important to make sure that you make the most money, but also because you get respect and people see that you're very good at what you do. Let me ask you a question. Are you guys learning anything right now in your classrooms that you think are going to help you when you get to the job that you want to go to?
Well, maybe when I create a video game or something, I could use math and multiplication.
So math and multiplication for video games? Or you could be a video game tester or something, or create video games. What about you, Cooper?
About 3/4 of what I learn at school is probably going to help me.
3/4 of what you learn?
Yeah.
What do you think? What are you learning right now that's going to help you the most? Do you think? What one subject?
Well, probably math, because you have to know how old a lot of things are.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, all of the things that you're learning are going to help you when you get to be an adult, because if you're educated, you're a well-rounded person, then it's going to help you get you have to have interviews to get jobs, right? They're going to see that you're smart, and you'll probably get the job that way. Do you guys know what you want to do when you get older?
Become a professor, teach, and become an archaeologist.
Become an archaeologist and be a professor and teach. Good. What about you, Devin?
Be a caveman.
Be a caveman?
Yeah.
No, be serious. What do you want to? What do you want to be with?
Miners.
You want to be a miner? Oh, you mean finding gems and diamonds and things like that under the earth and gold? Well, you can also mine for minerals, and there's things like coal that heat people's homes, and there are people that have to figure out where the coal is under the ground, so that's part of mining too. It's a really big industry. Well, that's great. I'm glad you guys have goals.
And I finally know what I wanted to be.
Yeah, I didn't know you wanted to be a miner either. That's very interesting.
Do you have to travel much in your job?
We do travel. I don't have to travel as much as I used to because of my current position in the jewelry industry, but I've been to Switzerland with our company, and I've been to Paris with our company, and I've been to London, and we also travel here in the United States. We travel to Las Vegas, and then New York City. And sometimes I buy diamonds, and I have to sit down with people in New York City, and they're the people that cut the diamonds, and they'll lay out all kinds of diamonds in front of me, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And then we have to talk about them, and then we make decisions, and then we haggle on the price. Haggle means that you talk back and forth, and they may say, we want this much, and I say, I want to buy them for this much. So we go back and forth till we agree. And when we agree, we shake hands, and that's good business, and I buy the diamonds, and I bring them back to Kansas City. And then they come in Kansas City. We make them into jewelry for people, so they can celebrate the very most important parts of their lives.
And you probably sometimes will put a quarter more of the price on there just so you can earn some money.
That's called profit. Yes, we buy them at one price and we sell them a little bit higher so that we can run our store and we can pay our employees. We have 65 employees and they all have insurance, and we have to pay for all of that. Plus, you have to heat the building, and you have to have security and insurance. So there's a lot of cost to running a jewelry company. So yes, you do have to make some profit, but it should be a fair profit, not so much that you're taking advantage of people, right?
What are some other interesting jobs that are related to yours?
Oh gosh. Well, like mining was one of them. You said you wanted to be miners. Miners, the diamonds and the gemstones come from the ground, so they have to be mined, correct?
And then they get built into rings.
Right, and then the wedding industry, because people get married and they get their flowers and their gowns, and they get a cake, but they also get a ring. So I help them with the ring portion of it. So the wedding industry is another one. And then it's retail, they call it. And retail is where people buy things. They call them goods. And it can be the shoes you're wearing, or the clothing, your shirts. And we help them, and we help them make decisions. So when you go to a store, and even a video game, if you go into a store and somebody helps you, and they tell you all about the game, and they tell you whether it's appropriate for your age or not, that clerk, that salesman, is in retail. So that's what I do. I help people when they come into our store.
You convince people to buy the stuff?
We help people make better decisions, yeah. We ask them questions. We say, what do you need it for? What's your life like? How hard are you going to be on this ring? Are you going to wear it all the time? Or does it need, if it's a watch, does it have to be waterproof? Are you going to go swimming with it? Are you going to go scuba diving with it? We sell a lot of watches that are made to go under the water really, really deep. So that's another thing, scuba diving and exploration of shipwrecks and things like that. We actually help in that kind of business too, because they come to us for their dive watches. Do you have any other questions?
In addition to your salary, what are some other benefits do you receive?
Well, insurance is probably the biggest, because nowadays when someone gets sick, it's very expensive to get proper health care. So they give us benefits like that. And they also have contests, and if I win contests, sometimes then we get to go on a trip. So that's a nice benefit, right? So they have these built into our pay. It's called a compensation package. And if every 5 years I hit a certain number, then I get to go on a trip. Plus we have a retirement package, and what the retirement means is that I'm saving up now so I don't have to work the rest of my life, right? I said 15 years, right? So I'm about 50 now, and 15 years I want to stop and slow down, so they help us save. So they have a retirement package, and that's another thing they do. Plus the benefits of a pretty flexible schedule. Like next Thursday, you're going to come to school, you're going to come to work with me, right? Mm-hmm. So I let them know that I'm going to come and pick you up, and so they're going to let me come into work late, and we're going to go have breakfast, and then you're going to come in and help me, and I'm going to show you what we do at the store. So my bosses are really good about that. So they give me a flexible work schedule because we work very hard for them. So they know that it's best to give us that kind of a benefit also.
So Evan and me will be 23 when you end your job?
That's right. That's quite a ways away. You'll be in college then, right? Because you want to go to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how about you?
Past it.
Do you want to go to college, Evan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think college is very important.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to go a second round of it.
Second round, you're going to get your master's. Good for you. Well, I hope you do. Going to college is very important.
Do you need any special physical characteristic?
Good, that's a tough word. Characteristics.
Do your job.
Not really. I think you just have to be, you have to be comfortable talking to people. If you're very, very shy, what they call an introvert, you probably wouldn't do very good at it. But there's still people in our back offices that take care of things. They inventory control. They check the jewelry in when it comes in, and they put prices on it. They make up labels. They keep track of all the inventory. There's security people that make sure we don't lose any jewelry. So there's lots of different jobs. But I would say you don't have to have any special characteristic other than to like people. You have to like people. You have to be able to talk to people and help them. If you think that you're helping somebody, then you're doing a good job in my position. What do you think? Jewelry's okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, we'll see about it on Thursday then. Okay.